Hey everyone, let's talk about a word we see everywhere, experience. It's on every resume, every job post. But what does it actually mean? Today we're going to deconstruct that very idea and look way beyond just counting the years someone's been on the job. So let me ask you this. When you see 10 years of experience on a resume, what does that really tell you? I mean, is every year spent on a job the same? We're about to find out that the answer is a big, resounding no. And this quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head. Time without learning yields tenure, not expertise. Think about that for a second. Just showing up for a decade doesn't automatically make you an expert. It might just mean you've been there a long time. And believe me, there is a world of difference between those two things. So let's start right there, digging into that difference. It's time to bust this myth that the number of years you've worked is the best way to measure what you can actually do. Okay, look at this breakdown. It couldn't be clearer. On one side, you've got tenure. That's just passive. It's about putting in the time, just being exposed to stuff, and honestly, that can lead to just stagnating. But on the other side, you've got expertise. That's active. It's about gaining real mastery, putting in deliberate practice. It is all about growing on purpose. And this brings up something we all know, seniority. We use it as a kind of shortcut. We see a senior title and we just assume that means more skill. But it's called an imperfect proxy for a really good reason. If that person isn't actively learning, that senior title doesn't just stop meaning anything, it can actually be a sign of stagnation. It's just a label, right? Not a guarantee. All right, so if experience isn't just about time served or a fancy title, then what the heck is it? Let's figure out a much better, much more useful way to define it. And boom, here it is. This is the real definition. I want you to really focus on those two words, embodied history. That's powerful, right? It's not something you just collect, like stamps. It actually becomes a part of who you are. It's something that's forged, like in a fire, from what you've done, what you've thought, where you failed, and this is the key part, how you've adapted. And that's the whole point. Real, genuine experience is never just theoretical. It's knowledge that's been thrown into the ring, stress-tested against reality. It's been shaped by actual constraints and, real consequences. It's what you pull out when the instruction manual just won't cut it. Okay, so we've got our new definition. Now, let's go deeper. Let's put it under a microscope. What are the actual building blocks? What are the ingredients that make up this incredibly valuable kind of experience? We're about to dissect the anatomy of mastery. Well, like any great recipe, it starts with the raw materials. You gotta have that hands-on, get your hands dirty kind of engagement. True learning by doing. Then you need field experience. You have to be exposed to the messy, unpredictable reality of the market. And finally, all this learning has to happen right there, on the job, in the real-world context. But just having the raw materials isn't enough, right? You need a growth engine to actually process it all, to turn it into wisdom. And a huge part of that engine is learning from your mistakes. I mean, seeing failure not as a dead end, but as a critical piece of feedback. Then you need reflection. That's the process that actually turns an event into an insight. This is how you forge that practical, gut-level knowledge that, let's be honest, beats textbook theory every single time. And this right here shows you the difference, the end goal. A novice, they're just following the rules. They need the instructions right in front of them. But an expert, they operate on intuition. It's an intuition that's been earned, forged over thousands of hours of doing this stuff. They're not looking at the individual pieces anymore. They see the whole pattern, instantly. This brings us to a really powerful idea. True experience doesn't just add up, like 1 + 1 + 1, it compounds, like money in a high-interest account. Its value can grow exponentially. So the big question is, what are the drivers of that compounding growth? Okay, driver number 1 is variety. I mean, think about it. If you do the exact same thing for 10 years, you're getting, at best, linear growth. But what if you expose yourself to all kinds of different challenges, different roles, new environments? Well, that is what accelerates your learning like crazy and builds a skill set that's way more robust. Next up, intensity. Just think back on your own career for a second. What are the moments that are burned into your memory? I'm willing to bet they were high stakes. A huge project launch, a crisis you had to fix. That kind of pressure, it literally sears the lessons into your brain. We just learn so much better when the stakes are high. And the last crucial driver is feedback. You can practice something for 1,000 hours, but if no one tells you you're doing it wrong, you're just getting really good at making the same mistake. You need those corrective loops. Good, honest, timely feedback is what makes you more accurate. It's what ensures your practice is actually making you better and not just keeping you busy. So, why are we talking about all this? Why does it matter so much, especially right now? Well, because understanding experience this way, it's about way more than just beefing up your resume. It's about figuring out what our ultimate human advantage is, especially in a world that's getting more and more automated. Just look at this progression. It's not like you just flip a switch from novice to expert. It's a whole hierarchy. You start at the bottom with just exposure, then you build competency, then capability. You get to mastery. But wait, it doesn't even stop there. The absolute peak of this is wisdom, judgment, and the holy grail. Strategic intuition. You know, that almost sixth sense of just knowing the right move to make. And if there's one thing you take away from all this, it's this. An AI can chew through insane amounts of data. It can follow rules perfectly, but it cannot, for the life of it, climb this hierarchy. It can't get to real wisdom. This embodied, hard-won human experience, that is our biggest, most lasting advantage, period. So what does that human edge actually look like in practice? Well, it's contextual mastery. It's understanding all the little nuances that the data doesn't show you. It's empathic understanding, knowing how a decision is going to land with actual human beings. And it's ethical discernment. It's knowing how to make the right call when the rulebook is blank. You just can't program that stuff. So let's wrap this up with one last thought to chew on. Experience isn't just a list of things that happen to you. It's an active process of turning those things into something more. So the real question isn't, how many years of experience do you have? The real question is, what have you done with those years? What have you actively transformed your time into?